Hey, Jules Blessed Vegan, and welcome to day one of our 45-week countdown to the best version of ourselves in the new year. We are down to day one, the last day of 2019, which is not news to anyone, but worth mentioning. Oh my goodness, people, it's coming whether we're ready or not. But the truth is we're always ready, because honestly, whatever we did today is building our tomorrow, and tomorrow never comes. Because when it comes, it's suddenly called today again. So we are always in the present, and we are always blessed to do our very best. So I just wanted to mention my eyebrows. I said I'd get my eyebrows done. I was joking when I said I would lose half a pound. But they are so dang thin, I may have lost half a pound. I'm not weighing myself right now, but hello. I was like, chick, slow down. I was kidding about the weight loss. It doesn't matter. They go back so quickly, and they do look nice, but it was a bit of a surprise. I gotta be careful when I give those girls carte blanche, because they just go, let's do it. Sorry. I'm hearing fireworks going off for New Year's, and I thought it was actually someone coming. So anyway, my animals are actually being really good, but we try and be so careful because some of them get super nervous with the fireworks, and on some occasions we've actually found burnt, black marks and holes on our horses' stalls, which is really scary. And we can ill afford a fire or something because people are doing illegal fireworks, right? And it's so much worse when people shoot a gun. Do they not realize that bullet has to come back down? Anyway, let me stay present. So for the icon of this video, I used a really fantastic quote on emotional eating because that by far is my biggest challenge. Let me get it right, high carb, low fat, raw vegan. That's a lot to remember. High carb, low fat, raw vegan. Okay, which I try and live. I try and live that. Do I do it 100% as best I can? Do I slip sometimes? Absolutely. But I get right back on because my goal is that kind of living. But anyway, as that kind of eater, because it's so high in fiber and well balanced in micronutrients and everything else, there's no reason for my body to crave or feel imbalanced. So when I actually do act on a craving, it's never because I don't have enough nutrition. It's always because of an emotion, something that I did not honor, spend time with, acknowledge. Sometimes it's fear-based, usually shame. Sometimes, just afraid I'll offend someone or, didn't speak up for myself, whatever it is. But when I was looking back, I was thinking, I was one of those, I don't want to say an exceptional child, but because I was the youngest of 11 very capable children and incredible parents, I was expected to do everything much quicker, right? So if my siblings learned something at 2 or 3 years old with a whole lot of coaching, I was expected to master it at 1 year old, right? And in many cases, I stepped up. So, I was potty trained and walking by 1. I was reading, actually reading even chapter books by 3. So, I did a lot of things very quickly. But along with that, in all my brilliance and being so perceptive, somehow I also took on a lot of shame and recognized the need to anesthetize myself with food. And so literally at 2.5, and I know most people would not have concrete memories of that, but I do. At 2.5, pouting if a slice of birthday cake wasn't big enough or as big as the other children. Sneaking cookies out of the cookie jar at 3 years old and having my hands slapped, for doing so. Stealing from the liquor store 6 packs of ice cream and putting them under my shirt. At 4 years old, crossing Pacific Coast Highway with my 6-year-old sister, my partner in crime. Sitting inside the big recycle dumpsters, those big, huge Brigham dumpsters that were full of newspapers or glass or whatever, and hiding in there to eat whatever it was that I either stole or purchased with stolen money, at Safeway. Like always, I'm eating a person I babysat for out of business, really. I mean, she literally had to say, I love you as a babysitter, but you're eating all my product and I just can't keep you. And of course, it was frosting. She was a cake decorator. And, in my compulsion, I thought one squeeze of flavor every commercial. And if there's 10 commercials an hour and they're gone 5 hours, that's a tremendous amount of product, right? So I was kind of thinking about that. And I was like, from my earliest days, so what is that? I mean, is that my challenge? Am I to overcome that, at this age in my life? My gosh. But, I've always recognized that it's in our brokenness, the age that we experienced, the trauma that had us act out in whatever way, that is our youngest self. My husband came out unknowing that I was in the middle of my video. All right. I hope you didn't see anything. I'll have to check. Anyway, though, yeah, so we have certain things we need to overcome, right, in our life. And mine, obviously, is the emotional eating, the triggers related to past my history, right? God, it's just so interesting. I don't know what everyone's perception is when they come out of the womb. But really, being so incredibly young, I was already sexually abused by 3, though, but I was hyper vigilant on knowing how wrong it was and the shame that went with that, even though I certainly didn't get any of that going on at 3 years old. Meaning I didn't cause it at 3 years old, but what 3-year-olds wouldn't think they did, right? I don't know, but even in the families that I hung out with, there was so much of that going on, and then all of it was around food. Like this one mom in particular, I mean, her husband would get into bed with us naked, which was horrific, and then she'd be furious and pull him out of the bed, and then reward us probably for hush money in essence, but it was ice cream, right? I don't know, it's a big deal, and as I lose weight, it's unfolding. And it might get a little ugly before it gets beautiful with purpose. All right, but anyway, I'm an emotional eater. I so get that, and I am more well than I've ever been in my life, but I've got a long way to go. All right, so let's go ahead and look at that a moment because it's such a good one. And supposedly I have it right here. And again, I used it for the icon of the video anyway. And it reads, you gotta train your mind to be stronger than your emotions. And of course, the teacher in me wants to say you must. But you gotta train your mind to be stronger than your emotions, or else you'll lose yourself every time. So true. So I try and use all of my tools, right? I try and use my urge jar. I try and use my halt. I use my journal to be in touch with my feelings and stuff. But there's a lot of layers of why I respond to life the way I do. And I don't always catch them in the moment. And so I do falter, but I so get that. It's suggesting, honestly, it says, if you don't train your mind to be stronger than your emotions, you're going to lose every time, which suggests that the emotions are far stronger than the logic of the mind, which I completely get. So, again, I look back and say, am I coming from my child who's scared and broken and feels powerless? Am I coming from my primal brain that wants the easy way out, that wants to run? Where am I coming from? Am I coming from my logical adult? And when I'm in my logical adult and my kid is screaming and going crazy, my primal brain is saying, let's run, do I have the power to stay in my logical adult and care for myself? That's what I'm working on. That was a lot. Sorry about that, but I just had to share. So I was just thinking, there's past year, accountability was my word, and I was accountable. I showed up every single day this year and did all the videos, right? And for tomorrow, as we do 2020 with our clear vision, I'm kind of thinking it's going to be balance, because I've had very little balance in my life. I'm one of those people who tends to over-focus in one area and other things slide. And I want to try and have more balance. So we're going to have to talk about that and see what that looks like. But I can't wait to talk to you tomorrow. Please be thinking of something that you triumphed and feel good about this year. And I'm excited to share mine. So one more time on that, you got to train your mind to be stronger than your emotions, or else you'll lose yourself every time. Your current self, right? Okay, like if you like, join us if you haven't, subscribe. And until we talk again, my friends, be safe tonight. Enjoy ringing in the new year. Watch the ball if you watch it. And tomorrow we are going to wake to a beautiful best version of ourselves. And know that you're blessed.